Hello, I'm Marcus Boston, and the point of today's quick educational video deals with what is fetal distress and can it be dangerous for your baby? Want to know that answer? Stay with me as I share with you this very important information. All right, so what is fetal distress? And if you've watched a lot of my other videos, you know that I talk about this word fetal distress, and I've done some videos on fetal distress in the past, but it's been a while since I talked about it directly. And so for today's video, I want you to understand fetal distress in the context of a baby not tolerating a vaginal delivery. In other words, what I mean is that during the labor and delivery process, things occur which give the baby problems, or as I said earlier, do not allow the baby to continue to tolerate that vaginal delivery. And how doctors and nurses, how they look at fetal distress, or as they say, fetal well-being, how they gauge it and how they monitor it is through the use of the electronic fetal heart monitor. And that monitor is going to be hooked up to mom, and it's looking at the baby's heart rate, it's looking at things like variability, it's looking at acceleration and deceleration patterns. There's a whole host of things that the fetal heart monitor is looking at in regards to the baby. It's also going to be looking at and recording the mother's contractions. So what they do is when mom goes in to give birth, they will put, they'll put a device on her stomach, and that is what it's doing. It is helping doctors and nurses be able to determine how well the baby is tolerating a vaginal delivery. Now, when a baby is in fetal distress, and if that distress continues to go on for a considerable amount of time, then that is when you can start drifting into the realm of a possible birth injury or birth trauma, namely a brain injury for babies. And so as a baby goes on through the process, labor and delivery, trying to get into the world, it's a hard process, and the baby has certain things that are present to help the baby deal with the harshness of labor and delivery. But the baby can only deal with it for a certain amount of time, and that's when we get into things like the fetal reserves. So if the baby is in distress for too long, in other words, doctors have failed to diagnose that fetal distress, they have failed to treat the fetal distress, and there's certain things that they can use or they can do, give mom oxygen, turn mom, there are certain things that they can do, but sometimes these measures, or I like to say these conservative measures, if they are not working, if they are not getting the right result, if they're not resolving some of the fetal distress, and like I said, the baby's fetal reserves are being depleted, then doctors have to move to other forms of treatment, namely an emergency C-section when warranted. So like I said, the purpose of today's video is to help you understand that term fetal distress when we're talking about a vaginal delivery and how well the baby is tolerating the delivery, fetal well-being, fetal reserves. All of these things are really important when we are talking about fetal distress. If you have more questions about this topic, or maybe you're here because your baby has suffered a brain injury or some other type of birth trauma related issue, and you have questions, you're thinking, okay, well, was my baby in fetal distress? Did the doctors properly diagnose it? Did they properly treat it? And if they did not do all of these things, is this what has caused my baby's brain injury or my baby's injury at birth? If you have these types of questions, the phone number is on the screen. You can pick up the phone and give me a call. I talk to families all the time about birth trauma and birth injury situations. All right, that's going to be it for today's quick educational video. Again, I'm Marcus Boston, and I'm one of the childbirth injury and medical malpractice attorneys practicing law here in the state of Maryland at Boston Law Group, LLC. We will see you next time. Take care and enjoy the rest of your day.